hopefully y'all are having a good day. I've had a pretty good day. It's been a little up and down. It rained a lot today, and that usually is pretty glum for some people. But rain helps me sleep. I'm gonna say I know that is rain one of those things that like helps you like go snooze.
What if we had screens on our windows and could actually open the window?
True, yeah.
If we open the window here, we get bugs and all kinds of things in the house. Not
That
to
is
mention the possibility of the cats getting out.
that is one downside about this house is the fact that there are no screens on any of the windows, and it irritates me to no end. But I asked Mom why that was, and she said that it was like that when they moved in, so they never really had an opportunity to rectify it. And now that we're living in this house, it's just like, is there a possibility to put screens on the windows? I'd like that.
I mean, yeah, like all you have to do is pop in a little square piece of metal with a screen on it, like outside.
Yeah, it could work. We could see about that. But
I'd like to at least have like one on one of my windows in my room.
Oh yeah, the one that won't have like the AC thing on it. Yeah, I think that'd be nice.
It's basically you just pop that piece of metal into there, and then you can put a nail in like one side and the other side so that it can't go out. Can't get out of there.
Yeah, true.
That way the cats can't push through it, you know.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see about doing that in the future. At least, you know, I know you, that's something you definitely want. Me, I think where my windows are like hard to reach, and like the one in my bathroom doesn't open, and the ones that I have in my room are behind these big fuck all curtains behind my desk. So it's just I don't really have an opportunity to open a window. And plus it'd be a bitch to try and install that on my window, considering that my window's like a full like 12 feet off the ground.
You need a ladder.
Yeah. Yours would be manageable. Yours we could definitely do that with some we do that pretty easily. But yeah, I'll just talk about windows and everything. Reminds me of YouTubers have had some interesting stories whenever it comes to meeting some fans or like some obsessive people. The one that got me when I heard it was Gavin from the Slow-Mo Guys. He talked about this. Basically, dude broke into his house and was looking for him because he wanted to kill him. And why this was because the guy that broke in was radically obsessed with Gavin's girlfriend, Meg Turney. Like, radically obsessed. And basically her and Gavin hid in his closet, and they basically just waited it out. They called the police, and about a minute went by. The guy actually came into their room and like looked into the closet, but her and Gavin were like way in the back of the closet and were hidden really well, and he couldn't see them. So he basically gave up and he walked out front. And when he walked out front, the cops got there, and the guy had a gun in his hand, and the cops got there, and Gavin heard heard outside, like basically the cops telling him, put the gun down, and then Gavin just heard nothing but gunshots after that, because the guy raised up the gun and like to try and shoot the police and died that way. And Gavin, they did research into the guy's background and like all of his obsessions with like Meg, and basically this dude just decided that Gavin was not worthy to be in a relationship with her, so he was going to remove him from her life because he loved her that much. It's just like, that's so messed up.
Yeah.
And then there was also...
It's terrifying.
It is. And here's the thing. I enjoy meeting fans. I enjoy going to conventions, and when people recognize it. Heck, I got recognized at the wrestling show I went to. There was a guy who was just like, wait, I know you, don't I? I'm like, uh-oh. He's like, you got a YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, we do. He's like, Renegades, I remember y'all. I watched y'all for a long time. And I was just like, hey, man, it's good to meet you. And he actually was a wrestler at the show. It was his first time at that, like, working with us, and he was super cool. But, yeah, I always enjoy meeting fans, but there's times I worry about certain instances like this. I don't know if you've ever heard of Christina Grimmie. She had a bright future ahead of her, man, in terms of just, like, doing YouTube and performing music and everything. She was awesome. I was turned on to her, like, just after this happened, and I just was blown away by how talented she was, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. Basically, you know how Justin Bieber got big because of YouTube? It was
Didn't realize that was why.
Yeah, it was basically going to be the same story with her. Basically, she got recognized and was, like, brought on tour by, like, Selena Gomez, and a bunch of other people, or a bunch of, like, other big artists out there wanted to work with her, and was like, oh, dude, that's so cool. And yeah, it's super, super sad, but excuse me. Thank you. But I guess we're gonna hear Sonny B2 talk about this, so let's just go ahead and see what he's got to say. Here we go.
On the 10th of June 2016, Christina Grimmie offered a hug to her most obsessed fan. She was pronounced dead less than an hour later. She'd begun on YouTube roughly 7 years beforehand, initially uploading covers of popular songs.
Hi, I'm gonna sing Party in the USA.
And after only 3 videos, Christina went viral. She'd gained 892,000 views by covering Miley Cyrus, alongside her brother Marcus, who'd become a key figure. In Get to Know Christina Grimmie Part 2, she'd state, "My brother honestly is a really big influence on me. He's a year older than me and we're like best friends."
We always got along. There's never been really a time when we were like sibling rivalries ever.
They'd therefore begin making videos together.
I love my brother, who's also filming.
And after only a year of uploads, Christina was one of the top 50 most subscribed channels.
Hey guys, I recently reached a whopping 500,000 subscribers.
With her newly found fame, Christina made a huge announcement.
Don't forget to tune into the Ellen Show today. I'm gonna be singing me and Tyler Ward's rendition of How to Love,
which made her even more popular.
Our next guest has been hailed as the queen of YouTube. With over 200 million views, she is the most popular unsigned artist on YouTube.
But despite also releasing her very first album, Christina's life still had its problems. She'd become so famous she had to leave her school, while trolls made Twitter accounts under Christina's name before making arrogant tweets.
Even a couple of my really close friends, they've just told me, all your fans like hate you now because you're being really cocky and rude. And I was like, but that's not me.
Yet in reality, she was the total opposite. She'd state, "I hate when people have big egos. I try to stay as grounded as I possibly can. I don't consider myself a famous person, so I kinda just do my thing, and my fans love it, and that's what makes me happy." Christina's humble nature was noticed by Selena Gomez, who reached out to start a friendship.
And there's Selena Gomez right there.
Oh my gosh, hi.
There's Selena.
And invite Christina on her very first tour.
Her name is Christina Grimmie, and we found her on YouTube. We got to see her video, and now she's a part of our team, and she's part of our family.
After every stop, Christina did a meet and greet, giving her fans the chance to meet her and her brother. This turned out to be one of her favorite parts.
My favorite part, though, of tour has been meeting everyone from all these different countries.
Subsequently trying to meet fans at every single show.
And I loved meeting everyone, all the fans. They were so great.
The number of which had grown to over 3 million. She'd also appeared in different ads, placed 3rd overall on The Voice TV show, and was selling thousands of concert tickets, the next of which was scheduled at the Plaza Live in Orlando, Florida. She'd promote the event by tweeting, "Orlando, come out to the show tonight at the Plaza Live. Starts at 7:30, hyping up the concert like she'd do with any other."
We're in Orlando today. Please come to the show if you live near Orlando, Florida. We are at the Plaza Live. Please come out.
The show commenced with her brother on guitar, which when combined with Christina's singing, got the crowd so hyped she took the time to thank them.
You guys are awesome! Oh my goodness!
Everybody was delighted to see Christina live, except for a guy in the back who barely moved a muscle. He wore a black cap and flannelette shirt, and had purchased a ticket
Wait a
under
minute.
Kevin James.
What?
Okay, never mind. For some reason, I thought for a second that was... It's a black mask. I was gonna say, I was wondering if the season of Agretsuko where she starts to get famous and then gets a stalker that comes after her was like inspired by this.
Oh man. It's funny you mentioned Agretsuko. Christina was actually a big fan of anime and stuff like that.
Leubel. He'd grown up 2 hours away in St. Petersburg, Florida, in what was described as a semi-abusive household. Kevin told him his mother beat him with a frying pan, threw dishes at him, and broke his brother's arm. His mother then passed away when he was only 21, after which his father began dating someone new, although over a 2-year span, police were called 6 times about fights between the two, often involving alcohol and violence. He worked a part-time job at Best Buy, but Kevin was awkward with people. Managers moved him around to different departments over the 8 years he worked there, settling on him working on computers for the Geek Squad to reduce his interaction with customers, and Kevin's personal life wasn't any different. He dropped out of college, covered his windows with tinfoil, and spent all day every day playing World of Warcraft. But Kevin wasn't the only one who liked to play games.
You're doing a lot of gaming on this tour, as you can see. We've got the Wii U set up, we got Marth as our little mascot.
Christina never stopped talking about her love for gaming.
You name it, I play it.
With her channel's initial name being Zelda X Love 64. In case you didn't know already, I'm obsessed with Zelda, hence the name Zelda X Love 64. Ocarina of Time is the best Zelda game out there, although there are a lot.
I'm very thankful for electronics, video games, television, and the internet.
After learning about this, Kevin became obsessed. To impress Christina, he lost 50 pounds, got LASIK eye surgery, had his teeth whitened, and got hair implants to cover up his receding hairline. However, Christina didn't know that Kevin even existed, and instead fell in love with her producer Stephen Reza. On the morning of her concert, they'd share the messages shown on screen. Meanwhile, Kevin James Leubel was spotted buying weapons. He'd keep them in his jacket until the show finished, at which point Christina held her standard meet and greet.
It's just a routine meet and greet. People of all walks of life.
Feels safe. It feels like there's no need for security.
I mean, we've done this hundreds of times.
She'd stand beside this yellow barrier, being videoed by fans with her brother in the background. Christina took this final photo before being approached by Kevin James Leubel. As seen in previous videos, her natural instinct was to offer fans a hug, doing the same for Kevin before he'd shoot her point blank.
What Christina would do, she'd always just like open up her arms for a hug. That was her thing. The next thing you know, a couple shots go off.
Christina's brother tackled the shooter, who then turned the gun on himself. Police were on site within only minutes and quickly rushed Christina to hospital in critical condition. Adam Levine instantly wrote, "I'm sad, shocked, and confused. We love you so much, Grimmie. We are all praying hard you can pull through this." However, after only 35 minutes, a tragic announcement was made.
A singer on the rise to stardom is dead, and police trying to figure out why the gunman shot her at her Orlando concert.
When the media rushed to the shooter's house, they'd find a note written by his parents reading, "Deepest sorrow for lost, to the family, friends, and fans of the very talented, loving Christina Grimmie. No other comments." While back at the scene of the crime, the media was asking how this wasn't prevented.
There was barely any back check. The only thing that they were looking for is for food and drinks.
They weren't looking for weapons.
They were looking for weapons. They didn't do pat downs or anything. They just didn't do anything. They checked the bags barely, and that's it.
In the days that followed,
That's
the
thing,
plaza's
like,
former general...
They don't have a lot of safety precautions at a lot of freaking music shows and stuff. I have no idea why.
Well,
it's like some venues take it seriously, some don't at all. Like, I've walked into places where they just check your ID and put an X on your hand and they're like, "Have fun." Like, so many times before. Like,
yeah,
it's not super safe when you think about it.
No, it isn't. It's terrible.
Especially whenever we play music, and I'll go to music of a genre where somebody else has been actually shot on stage before in the past.
Dime.
Mm-hmm.
God, that one still sucks, dude. 20 years coming up in December since that day.
date. It was not publicly known that the entire management team was replaced on June 1st, just 9 days before the incident. He continued, I believe the replacements hired were completely inexperienced and ill-prepared to manage the plaza. Sadly, this tragedy occurred the very first concert managed by the new staff.
They weren't being security guards, they were just kind of standing there like having a good time. They were more concerned about like bringing water bottles in.
The incident was so unusual, it's hard to know who to blame except for Kevin himself. Fans simply focused on the singer writing, Christina, now you are on the wings of your dragon. Be at peace now, for you are now God's angel. Your hypnotic voice fills the heavens. Selena Gomez wrote, my heart is absolutely broken. I miss you, Christina, before dedicating a show to her.
And I don't really understand how this really happened, but I would like to dedicate this next song to her.
That she wasn't able to finish as she was simply too sad. The voice added, there are no words. We lost a beautiful soul with an amazing voice. Our hearts go out to the friends, fans and family of @TheRealGrimmie, while hundreds of other celebrities also offered their condolences.
I've literally been crying for 2 days straight.
Perhaps no one was more devastated than Christina's boyfriend.
The grief from that really messed me up as a man. Cursing God, had me getting into fist fights and getting blackout drunk every night. Messed my life up.
Except for maybe Christina's mother. Yet Marcus Grimmie wrote on Facebook, I found out this morning that Adam Levine personally called my mother and said he'll pay for the funeral and her plane flight. Now a friend just told me to look at the GoFundMe page and I see it is at 100k. Literally, I have no words. They held not only a funeral but a vigil as well, where one of Christina's tweets was publicly read. Sometimes God allows terrible things to happen in your life and you don't know why. This only became more true when her mother died from breast cancer 2 years later in 2018. Wholesomely, however, they're now buried side by side.
Christina touched so many lives that 7 years, almost 7 years after her passing, people still care about her. So that goes to just kind of show what kind of person she was.
Damn.
Yeah, man. See, it's stuff like that that's just... It hurts, dude. It hurts to just look back on stuff like it. And here's the thing. Even if you're not a fan of her music, even if you're not a fan of like how she did things or anything like that, you still, in the end, you have to respect how far she went and all that she accomplished, and the fact that she didn't seem to be taking it for granted. She seemed to be very much appreciative and just loving everything about it, about like everything that she was experiencing. And it some of the good ones go young, man, and that sucks, especially for someone like her, who I think she was 22 when it happened, and right now she'd be turning 30. She'd be turning 30, and I need to double check that just to make sure. Yeah, she had just turned 22. Man. That's unfortunate, dude. But I mean, she made an impact on a lot of people while she was here. I mean, she had over 3 million subscribers on YouTube, and her music's been played probably 1 billion times by now. And that's a hell of an impact to have at such a young age. And all you can do is just look at it and just, be sad, of course, but also just know that she was a star that burned bright. And a lot of people in the world knew who she was. And the impact she had is unmistakable. But anywho, I don't want to keep jawing on about this. Yeah, it's a sad situation, but anyway, what did y'all think? I mean, let us know what y'all thought. And I guess until next time, everyone, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
Y'all be good people. Be safe. Peace.